Have you ever gotten a text that made your stomach drop? One you could not explain, but somehow knew it was real? 3 months ago, I got one like that from my cousin, Elena. We were close when we were younger, but life pulled us apart. She moved from Chicago to a quiet town in Oregon after marrying a man she met online named Daniel Harper. I had not heard from her in almost a year. Then, out of nowhere, one night around 11 p.m., my phone buzzed. It was a text from Elena. "Do not call me. They will hear you. We had not talked in years." It said, "Do not call me. They will hear you." At first, I thought maybe she was joking or drunk, but something about it felt wrong. But the message had a location attached, deep in the woods, near a town I had not heard of in years. And by morning, her number had gone completely offline. That was the moment I knew something was wrong. I reached out to Daniel through Facebook. He replied calmly, saying Elena had caught the flu and was a little disoriented. He even sent me a photo of her sitting up in bed, smiling weakly. But something in that photo made my skin crawl. Her eyes looked distant, unfocused. I drove out there the next day. The road to that town looked abandoned, overgrown, like nobody had used it for a long time. Elena lived in an old house her late husband had inherited. A large, pale gray building that looked as if it was leaning toward the trees. When I arrived, the front door was open. Elena was sitting on the floor of the living room, phone in her hand, eyes fixed on the dark screen. She looked thinner. Her hair was tangled, her lips pale. "Are you okay?" I asked. She didn't answer right away. Then she whispered, "They do not like when I talk out loud." The lights flickered as she said it. That night I stayed in the guest room. Every few minutes I could hear her phone buzzing. I thought maybe she was texting someone for help, but the house had no signal. Still, the buzzing kept coming. Around midnight, I woke up to my own phone vibrating. It was a message from Elena. "Do not leave your room. They move better in the dark." I froze. Her room was at the end of the hallway, and from my bed, I could see a faint glow under her door, like a phone screen lighting up the floor. I texted back, "Who are you talking about?" No reply, but I heard a creak, slow, deliberate, as if someone was stepping closer down the hall. I held my breath until morning. When I checked her room, she was sitting on the bed, typing on her phone with tears running down her face. On the screen were a few messages, all addressed to her late husband. Each one ended with the same line. "I can hear them behind the wall." They were unsent, as if she had typed them over and over, hesitating to send them to anyone. By noon, Elena collapsed on the kitchen floor. Her hands were shaking so violently that Daniel grabbed her carefully while I ran to help. Together, we managed to get her into the car and drove to the local hospital. The doctor said she was in shock, exhausted, and possibly hallucinating from lack of sleep. But when I walked into her room, she did not look insane. She looked terrified, like she had seen something no human should ever see. The moment she saw Daniel, she clutched his arm, her nails digging into his sleeve. "It followed me here," she whispered. "Do you hear it? The whispering?" Daniel tried to comfort her, his hand on hers, but even he looked uneasy. Then something strange happened. The heart monitor beside her began beeping faster and faster, echoing the rhythm of her rapid breathing. The hospital lights flickered once. A faint hum came from behind the wall, low and vibrating, like a deep voice trapped inside the plaster. Elena screamed, clawing at her ears, trembling uncontrollably. The nurses rushed in and sedated her, murmuring that it was a panic attack. Daniel stayed by her side, holding her hand, whispering reassurances she barely heard. But I knew the terror she had brought with her from the house was not done. Daniel signed her discharge papers later that evening. He said she would recover better at home, but I knew she was not safe there. 2 nights later, I drove back to the house to check on Elena. From the outside, everything looked normal. The fog clinging to the trees, the same pale gray exterior. The forest was quiet, too quiet. Inside, the air was damp and heavy, smelling faintly of soil and old wood. The living room had dark stains along the baseboards, almost as if the walls were sweating. Elena's phone was lying on the table, buzzing intermittently. I picked it up. A new message appeared, from an unknown number. "You are inside now. Stay quiet." I froze. Then I heard slow, dragging footsteps upstairs, heavy on the floorboards, as if something enormous was pacing deliberately. I called out, "Elena?" The sound stopped. Silence. A few seconds later, a voice came from the hallway. "Daniel?" It was deeper, slower, distorted. Not her voice. Almost like someone was mimicking her, learning how she spoke. I felt my stomach drop. Something had taken control of the house, and it was aware of us. The basement door was ajar, a chill spilling out into the hall. I could smell damp wood, mold, and something metallic, like rust or decayed machinery. I shined my flashlight inside. The walls seemed alive. At first I thought it was shadows, but the wood itself pulsed, subtle yet undeniable. Beneath the peeling wallpaper, I could make out shapes, veins, almost human in pattern, stretching like something trying to breathe. In the center of the room lay Elena's hospital bracelet, wet with condensation. My phone buzzed. A message from her number. "It needs new voices." Another followed immediately. "Do not look at the walls." I lifted my flashlight. The wallpaper peeled slowly, strip by strip, revealing dozens of faces pressed against the wood. Mouths open, eyes hollow, staring through me. I stumbled backward, dropped the phone, and ran. The hum of the walls followed me, low, mocking, almost alive. I called the police that night. They searched the property thoroughly but found nothing. No sign of Elena, no basement, not even footprints in the dust. The floorboards ended abruptly, revealing only an empty foundation. When I showed them the messages, every text on my phone had vanished. Even Elena's contact name was gone. The detective said the house had been abandoned for years, destroyed in an electrical fire. Nothing should exist there. But the next day, I drove past the location. There it was. Standing again, pale gray, exactly as I remembered. A curtain in the upstairs window shifted slightly as if someone was watching. That night, a message arrived from a number I did not recognize. "Do not ignore us. We remember your voice." Attached was an audio file. I hesitated, then played it. Breathing. Slow, shallow, and beneath it, a faint heartbeat and the soft hum of a hospital monitor, almost synchronized with my own pulse. I could not tell if it was real or if the house was playing with my mind.